Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 507 of Geeks in Space. We're talking about the 1984 classic James Cameron's The Terminator. I wouldn't dare do it without Rob Roseboom.
Hi.
Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And Nate Ostendorp.
Viva Skynet.
Hey, I have one question.
Hit me with your question.
Roseboom, is it your intent that we should only see the very tippity-toppity of your head?
I guess.
It's the best part.
I mean, it's lovely.
He's just the short punk.
I trimmed my beard today because I got my photo taken for the DMV.
I think that Rob just wants us to see the top of his head because he wants us to think about Arnie, how he's got the weird eyebrows like shaved during some of those shots, and it really freaks me the hell out. Okay. The Terminator. This is one of the movies that I played as a child. I recall vividly playing Terminators with the bad kids in my neighborhood. And playing Terminators basically meant their dogs, their giant German shepherds, would smell people and then attack the Terminators. Now, in 6th grade, I got mauled by a German shepherd, got a huge chunk of my leg ripped out. We stopped playing Terminators after that.
Holy crow, were you guys rubbing bacon on the Terminator person?
I don't honestly know. I think I might have been a Terminator. I think that might have been... I mean, I was a 6th grader.
Weren't you listening to the story? Rob was a Terminator. The dog mauled him.
Okay, well, good Rob. Dog. Wait, you're saying that Rob mauled by it's like his last name.
So let's start the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a dog, dude. That stinks.
Right? Yep.
Well,
playing Terminator.
Though, that's awful.
No, this is one of the movies that I remember biking and getting and watching as a little kid. And I remember when Terminator 2 came out, this movie, like I'd only seen it a couple of times, but after that Terminator 2 came out, Terminator was the whole thing. And so I remember just watching both of the Terminator movies like a lot after that.
Yeah. No, I saw Terminator before Terminator 2. So when Terminator 2 came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. This is so good, So anyway.
Let's see here. Anybody else?
This is a great choice. This was Nate's
Nate.
choice? Man, Nate, you're the GOAT. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
No space camp from you.
No, there's no way he's making you watch the Star Wars Christmas special.
Or Millennium.
Oh man.
Jerk who did that.
All right, folks. This is a great logo. And it kind of is the exact same thing as The Abyss. Like, it seems like Cameron really likes to have the big blue text of the movie title flying at you, just to let you know what's going down. But this one I'm going to jump back a little bit because our first note is actually back.
And this is a note from one Commander Taco.
Right. I mean, we've got the machines, this text that starts it off very efficient. Everything about this movie is efficient, and I gotta respect that. It also has just a really great opening. I mean, this whole sequence. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it has aged perfectly.
It's still pretty good though.
He's doing, in these scenes, they're doing the rear screen projection thing. A lot of these scenes actually look an awful lot like Aliens. It was funny to watch those essentially back to back because he's doing the same tricks. It looks like he's got, the special effects, the actual optical composited fancy shenanigans in the background, and then dudes running around in the front. I just think he's just prototyping for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yep. Although I'll follow my own advice and bring up my second note later.
Oh, ha ha!
Yeah.
Mr. Smarty Pants. So the only thing I said is, first of all, I loved this title card. I felt it presaged Fallout's title sequence. The war never changes, except for, So I actually read this in Ron Perlman's voice. But the thing I wanted to say is this show, so if you hit play for like a couple seconds, or right before it. Anyway, there's a lot. Don't show all that. There's a lot of tires rolling over things. So it starts with the treads rolling over the skulls. There's a lot of people stepping on things too, and so it happens like 3-4 times in the movie, and I just think it's such a great aesthetic. They're saying, you know what, these people, they value nothing. They crush all life. It's just, I thought it was a great thing. Even when I first saw it, I was like, wow.
The peanut gallery is already spoiling what language the assembler is.
Everyone knows it's a 6502.
Oh man, everything about this sequence, but I do like that, Nate. Your head on the video right now is essentially being crushed by the treads, which seems appropriate for you today.
Nice. And crunch.
Crunchy.
I think ahead.
Let's see. Great logo. So it's now time for Arnie to show up.
Yeah.
He shows
First
up in
butt.
classic silhouette. I believe we all had a coworker at one point in time who claimed to see all of this footage before it was special effects. And I won't say her name, but she giggled once and told us that she got to see his wiener.
His wingman, yeah. His ting dong. His Bashimba Pagina.
The thing that really I noticed here is that I've seen Terminator 2 way more than Terminator 1, and Terminator 2, and I think all the subsequent Terminator movies, they go really out of their way to show that the transport is a sphere, and it leaves like it carves out the sides of the trucks, and they don't do any of that in the first movie. I was actually,
that's expensive
for sure. But again, I mean, this movie is efficient and relatively cheap. They spent their money on Sam Winston and driving trucks into things.
Smoke machine, take off your clothes, bam, you just came through time.
And I mean,
okay.
If you
when
look
you
like
want to
that,
talk about the rules of time travel.
we'll get there. Save it for the monologue. I'm going to fast forward through this little bit here, because what a great view of the city. Okay, that was close.
Honestly, though, Arnold was just a unit, man.
He was, pretty amazing.
I mean, his pecs are bigger than those guys' heads.
Right.
I mean, they're enormous. Anyway.
I want to see him.
You don't get to be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
For not trying or putting in the work,
For sure.
He put the work in.
Yeah.
And this was the surprise for me of the movie. I don't know which.
Yes.
Nate's the one that put the note in. Nate gets to talk about it.
Nate, it's all you, bud.
I mean, yeah, like Bill Paxton, it's all down from here. Like being punk leader is, I think, his finest hour.
And the main villain from Cobra.
Yeah.
He's
Come on, pig, and spit.
He's been in a lot of really good stuff. Like, he's just one of those. I mean, maybe he's James Cameron's lucky charm.
Buffy. I was trying to remember if he was in Buffy too.
I don't remember him from Buffy, but that's not to say that he couldn't have been.
What's his name again? I gotta look him up.
Bill Paxton?
I'd also
the Cobra bad guy.
I'd also like to point out that it's extremely difficult to fight a naked guy.
As you well know.
Right.
I do. You may not think, but wrestling a naked guy is really tough.
A hairless naked guy.
Yeah.
There's not a lick of hair on that body.
No, he's too beautiful to be slowed down by the wind resistance created by hair.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Brian Thompson is the name of our Cobra bad guy.
Yeah, he was in Mortal Kombat too, right? He was
in Mortal Kombat, and he was the judge in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There you go. Oh, that's right.
And he was in Deep Space Nine, and he was in everything. I mean, this guy, he works his butt off.
The third punk, not so much.
Less successful.
Yeah. Imagine being the least successful punk in Terminator. I
imagine that every day.
Some extra. The other guys, they do amazing work. Epic work.
I mean, I don't know what the residuals are for being punk number 3 on Terminator, but I imagine for the one afternoon of work that he had to play to get the weird tattoo fake makeup on his face, it was all right. He made okay.
Yeah, but his friends were like, "Hey, remember when you were the only guy who wasn't successful amongst that punk troupe?"
Shut up! Stop rubbing it in. Would you
No.
like your change? Would you like fries with that?
And they're like, "Shut up, Brad Reardon." He was in 4 movies.
I was just gonna say that Reese's entry is much less pleasant. They just ow. That guy, man, they beat him up.
For sure, less
did. I think I had a note coming up. Yeah. Okay. So it's an 828. So he's just, taking the homeless guy's pants or whatever. Right. But he's running around, downtown Skid Row, Los Angeles in bare feet.
Yeah.
I mean, just this guy brings it. I mean, look at all this trash and crap. I mean, I can barely step on a Lego without like falling into paroxysms of pain. This guy's running around.
Yeah, but that's movie trash. They actually,
I know it's movie.
They have to make prop trash.
I know there's prop trash, but it's still. I mean, this is impressive.
Yeah, that guy though. He's probably owned 1 pair of shoes in his life.
That's true.
The character,
the homeless guy, or
no, Reese.
Yeah,
Reese.
He grew up a refugee,
right?
Yeah, starving until John Connor saved us all.
That's right.
Yeah, so this I like the fact that he is 10 paces away from a cop searching for him. Play it once. And he's like, "Yep, going for that shirt. That's my size. Yep. I'm taking that."
Well, I mean, it's huge. Right? He knows he's going to be stashing guns. So.
It's true. This movie definitely has no shortage of trench coats covering shotguns.
Yeah. To care and protect.
So we set it up with the phone book. This gag has been probably done. I think remember seeing this like done on Robot Chicken, and like this is, gonna start murdering down the phone book. It's kind of awesome.
And if it was shot today, he would go on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
right.
Look at all the Sarah Connors on Facebook and try to friend them all.
Well, was it MySpace that you would have the first 6 you could see or whatever? Yeah. So.
Now it's time for us to get Linda Hamilton, who...
Okay, this is a Caro's, not a Big Buns. And it's still there.
Really?
From what I can tell.
From what you can tell.
I just really appreciate her very, very 1980s Honda moped.
Yeah.
Like that is some fly moped action there.
It's so Flash Gordon looking.
I'll tell you what bothers me about it is I was actually thinking quite a bit about this, which is, why does it have a little windshield? Like, are you like getting down and like
it keeps your shirt clean? It keeps
it keeps the bugs in your face.
When you're going full throttle, you lower your head to get as little wind resistance as possible to get that extra 1 mile an hour.
Right? Hold on, still I'm going 23.
Going 36. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should ask Uriah if like those little mini windows matter. But
that jacket that he's wearing, it always actually to me feels so wrong because everybody knows what the Terminator is supposed to look like, and it's the same outfit that he somehow finds himself in all the movies that he shows up in, and that is not the jacket.
Well, he took that from the Punk. Or which Punk did he take this from? Because
I think that was Paxton.
All those punks were teeny compared to him. So I'm like,
it was really baggy. It was really baggy on him in the shot too. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had to still get a still baggier one.
It was Punk 3 he took it from, the no-name Punk.
Oh, so not only does that guy not have a career, but he doesn't have a jacket either. Oh, he's dead.
As you can see from my background.
Oh, look at this.
Good old Brad Reardon.
You brought notes. I like it.
That's not what it sounds like when you break it.
Well, so what I liked about this is that he punches the window and he like breaks the ignition to hotwire it. And there are a number of hot wirings in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they hotwire cars like anyone can hotwire a car in about 2 seconds, but Arnold does it particularly violently.
Well, and this is the right way you actually hotwire a car. None of that I cross wires bull crap. You know? You punch the column and just turn the ignition with a screwdriver, you know.
It's easier that way.
Yeah.
What I always think about is, and I know we did the research on this one time, which is we should just have tons and tons and tons of candy glass, like just around, like for purposes throughout the day. Like we should just be able to punch through glass, and like we should have glasses that we smash on the table. Like that should just be everywhere. It'd be so fun. But if I remember correctly, didn't we research this at one point, and it turned out that it was like you could get like a dozen glasses, but it'd be like $100. It wouldn't like it's not super cheap.
Yeah, I was looking into bottles so we can break them over each other for cybervation.
That's right. Our failed sitcom.
One of the YouTubers that I follow, he made his own, you know, using like agar and sugar and the rest, and it was kind of cool. So
Ambaloo points out, he says, have you guys seen Arnold in the Hercules Goes to New York? And yes, I have.
I'm not sure.
It's kind of amazing. If you can find it, you got to find the version. There's two versions of it, one that's been dubbed and one that actually has Arnie's voice. If you can find the one with Arnie's voice, it's way better.
Whoa, you're not kidding. It's like $16 a bottle.
Yeah.
$22 a bottle.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool. Oh, here you go, Chris. Before we even recorded this movie, you just wanted to talk about this shot.
I was a waiter and a barback and a busboy for a while when I was a kid, and this is the definitive in the weeds. I'm actually not that good at this job anyway. Scene that I think about I think about that as my memory of being a bad waiter, you know, and I'm just like, I don't want to ever be that again, you know. So it's a very powerful scene.
This is the line more than any that I remember from this movie. Go ahead and play
the plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Hey, just what you see, pal.
Just what you see, pal.
I love that line.
He's got the other one who's like, you really know your guns, man. It's like that. I mean, I know nothing about guns, and like he's just like calling these things out. All I know about guns is what I learned the one time I shot machine guns. Which is super fun.
One like Las Vegas or something. Yeah, no. So what's funny about this is like 5 seconds later he says, you know, any one of these is great for home defense.
The Uzi 9mm.
Yeah. You know your weapons, buddy. That's great. All right.
Yeah, you've correctly identified that gun.
Yep. And he did identify like 3 of them from their butts, but I guess I don't really know if that's impressive or not.
Well, we've only seen 2 butts. Oh, you mean the
different thing.
The gun.
Oh, another hot wire.
Another hot wire, much less punchy.
But like all things with Reese,
a tire rolling over something. Look, y'all.
Crunch. So I just wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go for it.
What I was thinking a lot about is I feel like although this scene in Aliens, basically the same sort of setting and very similar, feels very military and futuristic, and it actually feels kind of timeless. It feels like that generic science fiction 20 years in the future, and that thing that it can be 20 years in the future in the 80s, and it can be 20 years in the future right now. This, with the hair spiked up and the headband, this is 1984. like I'm sorry, this is the future of 1984. It is in no way timeless.
See, I like that this basically feels like 21st century World War I. Like, you know, there's sort of stuff rolling around. There's people, there's laser flashing everywhere. People are hunkered down. Like, yeah, lots of drones.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like. But I mean, this is the common trope, right? I mean, I don't know that trench warfare and stuff is going to be as big of a deal in the future war against the machines. I feel like they're just going to nuke everything and call it good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like the mech tank. you know, I would sign up for more mech warfare, you know, in this movie.
It's interesting because I was one of the things that I was thinking about is how these future scenes, they are the thing that makes the stakes of the movie, but they have nothing to do with the actual story whatsoever. It's all like, you could take it out and basically then Reese might be a crazy person and Arnold might be a sociopath murderer. This is the thing that makes it real, but it actually is completely separate to the movie. All it does really is serve the point that this is real.
No, it takes a lot of they do a lot of universe building in this movie. That's one thing that I like. Think of if you hadn't made all the other Terminator movies, like this standing by itself, like you spent a lot of time world building.
I mean,
This sequence also makes me wonder why he didn't keister a couple of bombs on his way out. Because he's showing up here without any weapons to take on the Terminator. Seems like, you know, that might have been a couple of useful things he could have, you know.
Seems like he could have wrapped one of those plastic rifles like in a puppy. The plasma
not a
rifles.
rifle, just a bomb. Put it in his jail purse.
Jail purse. Oh, thank you, Deadpool.
The only thing I was going to say about this segment here, let him drive for a sec. There's no way a car of that vintage would be able to drive over that debris. Just wouldn't happen.
True.
You know, and it's whipping. It's going fast.
So now we get to see Linda Hamilton's apartment life. That was
Hooray.
adorable. The whole makeover scene or getting ready for the party is charming.
And here we find out that Bishop is a police officer.
Yeah.
And that half the cast of Aliens is in this movie.
Yeah. Gonna reuse everything.
The thing that I liked about this scene is that upon learning that there are multiple Sarah Connors, rather than going to the phone book and looking up any other Sarah Connors and trying to call them, they're just like, what a pain in the ass. This guy's a serial killer.
Right.
Jeez, I hate the weird ones.
I hate the weird ones.
Especially given that there's 3 Sarah Connors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they've been murdered in order.
Yeah. Like, maybe make a phone call. Like,
the work's been done, buddy.
That's some good detective work there, John. Wow.
So I just wanted to say they look horrible. Like, these are beautiful women, and 80s fashion is a nightmare. I don't get it.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't work for everybody, though. I think that's what's being proven here.
All right.
God, the hair.
It's bad, man. All right.
That hair, the explosion of hair right here.
That's like, that's to
Linda
me.
Hamilton, no.
That's the hair that all the moms had when I was growing up.
Yeah.
This
was teacher hair.
Like, we are 1 or 2 years away from, do you remember when they had the bangs that would stick almost straight up and then all the rest of the hair would be smoothed out? We're moments away from that, my friends.
So there's a movie that I will not recommend and will not pick. It's called Modern Girls or something. And it's like all that hair, man. It's like, oh my goodness. It has Daphne Zuniga in it.
Ooh.
It's that 80s.
All right, here we go.
Ginger, have you seen Pugsley? No, not lately. Did you check messages?
It always bothered me that she says, "Did you check messages?" I feel like it should have had a definite article. It should have been the messages. But
was that time appropriate though? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. And also, the idea of having a roommate and sharing an answering machine and caring about it. I mean,
that was normal back then, man.
Yeah, totally.
Nate, did we have an answering machine in the Geek Houses?
I
don't remember, man.
The Geek Houses were in the 90s.
I know, for sure, but I'm trying.
But we didn't have cell phones. Like, that was.
Yeah,
we had landlines, but I don't think you cared about
I had a
messages.
digital answering machine, in college and stuff. So
the Panasonic one. Yeah.
I for sure shared answering machines with my roommates back then.
I would not like that. I think we had like multiple phone lines in the Geek Houses.
Didn't you burn down all of your houses? I mean,
that was mostly Jeff.
That was
I don't
Jeff.
think that you guys are great authorities on what people normally do.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't trust y'all.
I like that she has the Pugsley the iguana. That's
Yeah, that's a nice
Poor
character
Pugsley.
quirk.
Oh, also, I just wanted to say, for how dorky she dressed when she was dressed up in '80s. She's just wearing the pink tie-dye T-shirt. She looks like she's super cute. Like
She's cute.
now, this is the Sarah Connor that 12-year-old me has a crush on.
Yeah, in mom jeans.
In mom jeans.
She's wearing a different blouse.
She doesn't look. That shirt that she was wearing didn't work, and like all the '80s makeup and stuff. It was too much.
80s hair.
You know.
Hair explosion.
More phone book. She's got to go to Tech Noir. I didn't put the time code, but it does kind of bother me that she pays and still gets her change. It's like, I need that 50 cents, and dude's going to kill me. I got to get inside. Give me my 50 cents.
It's weird that the cover charge only $1.50. I mean, it was $5 at the park.
I thought they said it was $4.50.
Well, so what's funny is in the production notes, I don't know if y'all read this, Tech Noir was created just for this movie, right? They were like, well, we'll just put it together. And actually, the what's his name, the filmmaker? Cameron. He wanted to create a film noir meets sci-fi, Tech Noir, man. That's this movie, right? And people started showing up trying to get into the club and go dance. Like randos off the street, and they're like, it's a movie set. You know, they're like, really? They're like lining up.
My first thought when I saw that was if Jamie Zawinski would have opened a nightclub in 1984, it would have been Tech Noir, and it would have been neon like that.
Yeah.
It also really bothers me that I mean, she's gonna get assassinated here, but it bothers me that she's listening to her headphones the whole time. Like she's like messing around with her boyfriend, and she's like bopping to her headphones and stuff. That's weird.
It was 80s. So she had a Walkman. She was gonna use it.
I will say the execution scenes in this movie, like there's a number of them, and they're pretty solid. Like they're pretty heavy. You know,
they're awful. Yeah.
I actually had a kind of a question about this, and this happens throughout. But Arnold is using the pistol with the LED, with the laser pointer, and I have to feel like if you are like a trained killing robot machine, you would be able to take your gun, shoot it once, and then like log that somewhere in your databanks, like exactly what direction, and then you would not want that LED. You would
ever again.
He's just saving CPU cycles, man.
All right,
he got that for free. Like he.
Yeah. You know, the 6502 isn't like a 3080, you know, Mr. NVIDIA. You know, the 6502, it doesn't have as many cycles for things.
All right, we'll get to that because I have some real questions.
So the only thing I had a thing coming up here where the only thing I wanted to say is no club has ever been this brightly lit.
Yeah.
And I think Nate has a note too. I feel bad for all these like innocent bystander extras.
Yeah. Well, so this one I just kind of noted this is our first gunfight of what will be many gunfights, and this is Uzi versus shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, they don't screw around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I remember the first time I saw this, just thinking, all those people. He's killing all those people. You know.
Is this back when you were young enough to still think that when people died in movies, they actually were killed?
No, I never thought that. I just felt it was terrible. That's all.
I remember being young enough to think they don't really kill those people, right? I don't think I ever believed that they did, but I remember having to think through that. Like, I'm pretty sure this is pretend.
Yeah. Well, so Ambaloo mentioned, we'll actually get to this later. The actual source of this is known, and it's a very interesting part of the history of source code in movies. So we'll get to that, though.
We're trying so desperately to save it. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe.
Smash the like button and subscribe. You know, just saying.
All right. This is you, Chris.
This
is their source code.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. Here you go. Well, you missed the iconic line, though.
Oh, did we?
You know? Yeah. You're Mr. Iconic line. So one of them is at 3647. There you go.
Come with me if you want to live.
There it is.
I mean, bam! First time it was set. Boom.
And then they have to put that and I'll Be Back in like 37 sequels.
Every movie. Yeah, okay. But back to the 6502 code. So the 6502 was the chip behind the Apple II, Commodore 64, Atari ST, a whole just whack of things. And so when they were trying to make the sci-fi interface for the robot, for the Terminator, they just opened up a computer magazine called Nibble, and they copied over a program from it and just put it in. They didn't ask anyone's permission. I don't know who the original author was, and they just put it in. They didn't care. So yeah, and after this though, Hollywood, when they would put source code movies, they would try to figure out who owns it and get rights to it. So when you look at, I think it was. Oh gosh, we've had a couple of movies where, for instance, Dan Berlin, a friend of the show's, he got some Android code into a recent movie, and then we cleared the code that was used in Silicon Valley, and made sure it was open source code that they could use, and it was credited properly. I mean, this is important stuff, man.
All right, so I got to tell you, my problem with this. And my problem is pretty substantial. Why are they showing uncompiled code on what is presumably the heads-up display visible only to Arnie?
It's technology.
He is doing pull requests, man. He's not executing this code. He's reviewing other people's code that he might run and just saying, hey, this loop isn't optimized. Like, that's what's going on.
This is a better targeting code than the one I'm currently running, so I better compile it and use it. Yeah.
He's spinning up different Docker VMs filled with 6502 code.
Well, he comes from 2029, man. It's all containers then.
Yeah.
It's true.
Containers, virtualized interfaces. They're using IPv6, I'm sure.
Oh, it's about time.
It's going to take, a machine revolution to get IPv6 finally used everywhere.
It's true.
Westbound and Olympic approaching Overland.
So one thing I find that's interesting, so he listens to the cop's voice and he sort of mimics it. This I actually find very plausible. Like you could kind of almost do this today.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
If you have short excerpts of a person's voice, emulate it. So that, okay, spot on. 40 years from now, you'll be able to do that
for sure. And I bet you could do it. I bet you could do it now with a minute or two of audio, and I bet in the future you can do it with a few seconds. Probably get a couple of words, and you can get close enough to fool somebody on a phone call.
I mean, it's a neat feature for a Terminator, but as we discussed earlier this week, his job would be so much easier if he just came back as like a soccer ball or a toaster. And just waited in those yards and
just
waited
rolled up
until morning, and they put a couple of English muffin in, and his business is done.
Bam.
This is a whole lot of extra work that didn't need to be done.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely didn't stealth it up.
I am not stupid, They cannot make things like that yet.
They cannot make things like that. So we're now in the part where they basically spell out the most of the future stuff, Terminators, flesh-covered robots, and this is, I mean, I guess if you think about it, this is just justifying exactly what Rob is arguing for, which is why they didn't send a soccer ball bomb back. It has to be humanoid, and also it's a movie, so you gotta have an actor play it.
Well, wait a second. A football, it's a pig skin.
Ooh.
Right?
That's true.
Okay. If we want to talk about the rules of time travel, they're very weak.
Right.
There's lots of room inside the body of Arnold for like bombs and extra guns.
Those pecs.
And all the rest. It's like you can just open up a peck, put in a gun. It's like he's got a lot of room. Right?
Maybe not a toaster or a soccer ball, then maybe just a big sandwich.
Yeah.
Or like a Christmas ham.
Poison.
A Christmas ham.
A poisoned ham.
A flesh pouch with a zipper and a bunch of
Yeah.
like.
It sounds to me like you're describing a haggis. You know?
I was actually thinking, we just watched RoboCop, and RoboCop can store a gun inside of his thigh. Why cannot the Terminator do this? I mean, sure, it'll hurt like hell coming out the first time, but he's a robot. He doesn't care.
Okay. Why isn't the Terminator just a skin bag over a nuclear weapon? You know, send it back in time, set her off, destroy Los Angeles. Boom.
Screw
Problem
it.
solved.
Well, I guess if you did that...
Yeah, this movie would only be 3 minutes long then.
Well, also, if he did that, he would destroy something.
About saving Skynet.
If he destroyed all of LA, he would kill somebody that was instrumental to the creation of Skynet.
No,
so it's got to be relatively precise.
I mean, and this is all happening like within like 3 blocks of the City of Industries.
I mean, you don't want to live there.
No, you don't.
So
computers, new, powerful, hooked into everything.
So this is the part where like, yeah, he totally sounds like he's crazy. And I will say, listening to people talk crazy stuff sounds totally different in 2021 than it did in 1984.
Right.
1984, you're like, yeah, that's crazy. And now you're like, oh, great. Who's forming a subreddit about this theory?
Yeah, is this a QAnon group?
It's TAnon.
Yeah. So, TAnon.
All right.
Amblue is making an argument that Skynet did the best it could.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Amblue's, thinking of Skynet.
They had to use existing technology. They couldn't go build their meat and gun sandwich.
They could have just like cut a hole and like jammed a gun in there.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
a super laser pistol.
Unfortunately, I'm not a Skynet apologist.
I mean, they do kind of explain a lot of this, right? They say like there's not a lot of records before the war. They don't have a lot of information. They're doing the best they can. I don't know. My problem, I guess, with this is that they did such a lovely job of world building and setting up the whole thing that like each subsequent sequel erodes that a little. But
all right,
boy,
second Reese v. Arnold gunfight, shotguns and cars.
Yeah. And Arnold with no eyebrows.
Yeah, what's
weird.
up with that? Is that because he because he got like kind of messed up in the last fight?
I don't quite understand.
Because no, that's still coming.
Later he gets wrecked.
Later
he gets wrecked.
He was in a shitbox car, and it blew up. Remember, it lit on fire and all the rest.
But then why is he such a hair?
So I said stop here because see these holes. Like these people would be dead. Like there's too many holes, and also.
Sarah Connor definitely did not get defended by the armrest in that El Dorado or whatever it is.
I mean, if the 1/4 inch of steel or 1/8 inch of steel didn't stop the bullet, I mean, it's going right through poor Sarah.
Lay flat in the back seat in the well.
Play it for a few seconds.
At least he's not firing at the side of the car that has the gas tank. So
that's true.
Because then we can have a different movie Mythbuster thing that we have to talk about.
Okay, that's enough. So it's terrible music.
I kind of am with you.
Really screwed this one up.
The music is not the best.
This is not his finest moment from a music standpoint. It's the same guy who did the Giant Mnemonic soundtrack. So
I like the theme, but yeah.
So it just cracks me up. They brought the psychiatrist forward. It's just such a well done.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Too,
Sarah, this is Dr. Silverman. Hi, Sarah.
He was a jerk then too.
Yeah, it's like him and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Every Terminator movie, it's got this guy.
All right, so now we have to have all kinds of gross stuff happen. And young me was definitely creeped out more by these sequences than the executions.
Yeah.
And this is like on several shots of like close-up shots of exacto knives. Thanks.
Yeah, and in eyeballs and in arms.
And it really doesn't make sense to me, like, why this is all happening. Like, he doesn't have to worry about getting an infection, right?
That's true.
I mean,
Well, you know, the part that I thought was funny about this is it's actually the same scene from, was it Empire?
Was it
or
Empire?
The end of Empire Strikes Back, you know? And it's like, you know, he had to have a robot doing it. And this is a robot self-fixing his own arm candy.
That's right. But to be fair, Empire was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Arnie is from the future. Empire.
Well,
a long
this
time
is
ago.
85?
Star Wars was a long time ago, Chris. It was a galaxy
okay.
far, far away, and it was a long time ago.
But we found out about the glorious long time ago far away.
You've been reading the Journal of Wills.
In 1980. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is really just reviving an old scene.
It's a really good reference of a shot, for sure.
It is good. It's the same angle.
Yeah, it does feel like a tribute. But I mean, Cameron's always been really upfront that his career was, you know, motivated by Star Wars. So.
Yeah.
Play like 5 seconds of this.
Then, why this elaborate scheme with the Terminator?
It had no choice.
It had no choice.
I just like that at this point we're basically poking holes in the movie that we're watching.
Yeah.
We're just like, wouldn't it just be easier for him to kill him and not try to kill his mother by traveling through time? That sounds ridiculous.
Right? You're an idiot.
It's like, oh, yep.
It's true. All right, here's some more ouchies. Ooh, eh. Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole sequence, man. But you do get that.
Yeah. You get that, which is cool.
For sure.
And although I will say, let it play for a second or two so you can see his face again. There. It's this just it didn't
So
age
bad.
well.
So
This
bad.
doesn't look good. He looks like a rubber person.
There's a lot of these shots where I'm not clear if it's a puppet Arnie or if it's like prosthetic Arnie. Like, it just does not work.
This is a
Welcome
mannequin.
to the Hall of Presidents.
Welcome to the Hall of Presidents.
You go naked. Something about the field generated by a living organism. Nothing dead will go.
And there you go. It's like this movie has like 3 rules, and that
Nothing dead will go.
nothing dead will go.
Except for a cyborg surrounded by living tissue.
It's
Okay.
It's enveloped in skin. It's got a skin suit.
He's wearing a haggis.
well, and technically his hair is dead. So is it just it has to be made from biological things? Or
It's
does
a
it actually have to
field.
be
It's a
living?
field. You got like a range.
It's like a
around the
meat
living
sphere.
Yep. He's been ionized, but he's okay.
But he's okay. Thanks, Ray.
This is great stuff. I could make a career out of this guy.
And he kind of did, because he gets to come back, and I got to imagine that dude, the residuals that he made from Terminator 2 probably, like, I don't know, bought him a house, a car. I don't know how residuals work, but he had to have done okay. He did make a career.
He did well from this, you know. He probably paid for a small house in Culver City. Yeah.
I've read articles on how much residuals for movies paid from this era, and I've never like really understood it.
Great.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And people were still buying into that whole net versus gross, but yeah.
And here it is.
Back,
The line,
back.
Oh,
I'll be back.
There you go.
the line that launched really a mainstay of all the rest of his movies in his career. You know, everyone wants to get the I'll be back thing. So Commando is just chock full of them. That movie is basically just, I think they wrote 20 one-liners and then wrote a movie around it.
It is. I mean, I don't know. It's Cameron knows how to write a catchphrase. You know, all of his movies have got a few of them. He knows the deal.
Like in Avatar, they said, I want to be a blue person. And now people say it everywhere.
Yeah, all right. Let's not hold Avatar against the man. He made $1 kajillion.
Well, think of all the great lines from The Abyss.
There are a few.
Shit's wet down here.
But I guess somebody's going to have to pick one for that. 'Cause for me, The Abyss is more visual than anything, because the things about The Abyss that kill me is like the water in the lungs and stuff, and the aliens at the end. It's a chill movie. It's like a 2001. It's almost non-verbal in lots of parts.
Yeah,
I love that movie though.
that's the strongest.
Nice.
We got a gremlin,
Yeah. So I just laughed that he picked the AMC Gremlin
right?
as his getaway car. It's like, yeah, there wasn't a Pinto, so I took the AMC.
Well, it probably gets a lot better gas mileage than the land boat he was driving before.
Yeah, right.
It's
Exactly.
true.
It's
And
like
they deeply worry about climate change.
Yeah.
So I'll just skip through. We got a couple minutes before the next note, but this is now where they bond and they become friends, and then we get to see more future stuff.
Boop, 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 boop.
And by Bond, you mean make John Connor.
Well,
No, that's not till
that's a little later. But now that's foreplay. Dressing each other's wounds and telling each other about your future child.
Sure.
There's the dogs, the German shepherds, that may or may not have mauled 6th grade me.
Oh, that's heartbreaking, man.
So I love this gag. If you let it play,
Yep.
you see the kids, like their face kind of lit by flickering, and then turn around and no, that television is a fireplace. That's great.
I thought when I first saw this, because I had seen the movie Threads before I had seen this, I thought it was a callback to Threads, because there's all these really depressing scenes in Threads of a post-nuclear Britain, and kids are learning via television, and it's these horrible broadcasts, and they're like in these cold rooms they're all bundled up and cold and watching a TV telling them about math or something, and so I thought that was what that was. But yeah, it's powerful stuff, man.
I just look at this as exactly what my children would do. They would sit in front of whatever screen they could find on fire, and they would sit there until they died.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get up to get food. I'm going to sit here and look at the screen until I'm dead.
I'm gonna remember all the Minecraft videos that I used to watch.
Hello! Oh, here's Reese looking at the picture of Linda. I think that picture gets some play in Terminator 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of miles.
Even though it burned in the future, so it couldn't have come back to the past, but it started in the past. Hey.
Also, if you notice, this other Terminator here is also a giant ripped fellow, which makes me wonder why Skynet wants all the Terminators to look like Mr. Olympia in the future, where no one has food or the ability to spend 4 hours a day at Gold's Gym.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if those
fair.
do anything, but he's got, like, he's holding a massive gun.
Yeah.
This is like, he just kind of appears, and all of a sudden he's got this huge gun, and he's just laying everything out.
Like, they might actually start with the gun and then build the Terminator, to fit the gun. My other problem with this is I don't know if it's Terminator 3 or Terminator Genesis, one of the other Terminators, where they go back and you have a CG Arnold, and there's a factory making millions of Arnolds. Like, doesn't this kind of, like, negate that? I don't know. That bothers me.
So the thing I want to point out is this person is played by Franco Columbu, who was a friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger and a professional bodybuilder and world's strongest man competitor. He would appear opposite Arnold in a bunch of movies. They're pals. And his nickname was the Sardinian Strongman. So there you go.
I liked that he has multiple choice in his AI on how to respond to this guy.
Yes.
And so really anything he said was plausibly sort of like a visual novel style interface.
Oh yeah,
It was nice to know that he's like a living choose your own adventure book.
Totally.
yeah.
Yep.
Choose your own effing adventure.
And I love the responses, like, or what? Please come back later. F you asshole. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is, and it's overloading the first one with 2 responses.
Yes,
which
no.
is unusual, right? It's like, because he's not going to say yes, no. He's going to say yes or no. So
this is bad user interface, but also I wonder. I don't see a cursor.
Yeah. Well,
let it play. Let it play like a second here.
Yeah, because it does.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Well, good.
It's a menu.
There you go.
Menu.
Again, that he's navigating in his own head visually.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe the way that it works is these are redundant systems. You've got one system that's like the user interface.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. You can just whip that out anytime. I guess I can make Bernie appear over my shoulder. That's over Nate's shoulder.
How should I respond to Rob Maldo?
Is it F you asshole?
It's always F you asshole.
Always. All right, this pisses me off.
What, the towel being so perfectly attached? Or?
But the dialogue is something to the effect of, he told me not to tell anybody, and then the first thing she does is she just tells the guy what the address is.
Well,
it's sad. Her mom's dead.
Reese is kind of crazy.
I'm just saying, it feels like, she's the one that hides the fact that she's got the zombie bite from the tribe.
We had this discussion the other day.
Yep.
In the Discord.
Yep.
During the zombie apocalypse, you have to get rid of her. She can't follow the rules.
Yep.
Yeah. 'Tis true.
Growing up in a rural Michigan county, my first time making pipe bombs was also kind of a disaster. So, I understand where she's coming from here. It's a little tricky.
I mean, we cheated as kids and just made the tinfoil drain cleaner and 2-liter bottle kind of bombs.
Right.
Really didn't explode hugely but you didn't want to be holding them for sure.
So I used to take the Estes rockets. I'd take the cardboard tubing apart and I'd mash them and I'd turn them into propellant. I didn't make pipe bombs, but I made other fireworks.
Yes, you were the maintainer for the Anarchist's Cookbook, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. That was never me.
I don't think I marked the shot, but
Terrorist Profile Weekly.
there's a shot where he's loading the bag with the pipe bombs and he's like shoving them into the bag because he's really angry. And dude, that always he tells her. He tells her that she has to be careful, and then he does that. Like, I don't know. Maybe
we're out.
Maybe he's not a good soldier.
Well, it's not nitroglycerin,
Okay. I guess we're getting into this thing. You got to play it for 7 seconds.
You, Sarah. I love you. I always have.
That's it. So they're playing the romantic version of the theme, which is hilarious. And honestly, he comes across as 1 million times cringe creepy in this, and yet it works.
Because you got to remember, this is
really good looking.
This is like one of his leader and one of his really good friends' mom.
Yeah,
right.
This is Stifler's mom.
Who's technically his son.
Yeah, there's some awkwardness here. Here's the shot of him jamming these things.
Yeah, he's like, I shouldn't have said that. I'm so stupid. She's not gonna like me.
Ugh. Oh, there's lots. There might have been some side boob.
Yeah.
I made it.
That did it.
Yep. Now we're rated.
I mean, she thought he was Foxy.
Now.
Shows what I know.
I just wanted to say, if you want to pick a shot of what Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator looks like, this is a pretty good one.
No, that's a good one.
Leather jacket, sunglasses, motorcycle, ideally being chased by some sort of semi.
Leather.
Oh, there's a big shot of code there.
That's where I got my background. This
There
is
you
the
go.
segment. Right here.
There you go. Oh, this is weird, man. It's like Inception.
Okay. So go back, play it again, and just listen for the honk and wait for the braking. You're going back. You're showing too much. We're gonna get copy struck.
We're gonna anyway. It's a James Cameron movie.
And brake. So he takes 5 seconds to brake after he hits the guy. He's honking at him when he hits him.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
like,
get out of the way, guy.
Hey, get out of the way. I guess you're not gonna get. Maybe I'll brake. It's like, dude, that was a long time.
He's doing the best he can.
That was cold.
See, now we got Arnie's starting to really fall apart.
Yeah, the skin bag isn't holding up.
Yeah. Hard being Arnie. I mean, I guess it's a one-way trip, so you kind of know your deal.
So yeah, we're again another great like AAA special effect thing. Gas truck explosion. Can you have a good action movie without it? It's great.
I'll pause, and then
She's obviously not anywhere near that.
for
She's
sure.
in front of a rear projection screen.
We're commenting on this sequence in a transformative way. It's a great shot.
They did a nice job with the flame onto the dumpster.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. I mean, this is back in the day when you did it. You maybe did it in miniature, but you still blew something up.
And think about like how great this is that they have this shot of 2020 right here at the end, near the end of. I mean, look at it right there.
They really called it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They knew the score. It's too bad it doesn't say 2020 right on the dumpster fire. 26/6/12/18. That's not the same.
So the problem is the dumpster has too many of the colors from my green screen.
Yeah.
I've got a little dumpster here. So that's the Rob Roseman Memorial Dumpster Fire.
And now,
so all I just said is table for one at Harryhausen's. Harryhausen, table for one.
I had in my mind the special effects at this point were way better than they actually turned out to be.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the Sam Winston thing, right? The stop motion. Sam Winston is now playing the part of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it is not as effective. Because every shot of the Terminator from this moment on looks great in still.
Yes, totally.
And those feet are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
that doesn't have a whole lot of grip. Like you
know how you defeat the Terminator? A container of canola oil.
Yeah,
you just throw it on the ground in front of him.
Ball bearings. Bearings will.
Well, usually has a meat sack.
Yeah,
for traction.
Well, as we've noted from RoboCop, these robots are not designed for stairs. So you just don't really need like arches, really.
But for skull stepping, they're perfect, right?
Yep.
I did another this is another Harryhausen moment right here. As he comes up, and it's like all of our green screens.
Yeah, the blue screen here.
Yeah.
Oh. But I mean, think of I think a lot about
great.
The work that went into optically compositing that stuff, the matting and everything. That stuff is really hard work.
The Williams process.
And quite frankly, up until this point, there really isn't a movie that has substantially better special effects, right? This is it. This is what you get.
Yeah.
This is what you expected.
This is the best.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean,
it is.
For all of us season, I mean, it's still good. It's just a little dated, is all, Okay, so this is the Kearns Manufacturing Group in City of Industry, California, which was purchased by a company called Semco, and they make extruded aluminum parts, steel, CNC work. It's a real working factory still. So. I can also say, as an actor, I'd be petrified to walk through a hydraulic press.
Oh,
Yeah, there's I gotta say there are a lot of OSHA violations here.
Yeah.
They are not wearing their high visibility vests and hard hats or eye protection.
Right.
They clearly did not watch the safety training video. Hard steel-toed boots. No.
What I really like about this sequence is, as we've talked about earlier, she squealed the location to the Terminator. She hasn't been the best, but her hero's journey is complete. She took a huge injury here, and now she literally gets to crawl. That's her hero's journey. Ow, 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 and that's good. She did a good job in this sequence. This is the sequence I think that makes her. Like her character in Terminator 2 plausible.
Her into Terminator 2.
Yeah. You get her coda sequence, but here is where she earns it.
Yeah.
You feel the hurt, man.
Yeah. Crawling through hydraulic presses.
This is fine.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you got to give the line.
All right.
Awesome. Okay. We probably got your copy stricken.
Your copy stricken.
No, so the other thing I want to say is, so she didn't see the control panel. She's just feeling at it with her fingers. How does she know which one to hit?
I know. She could have accidentally hit unload.
Yeah.
Could have gone up.
Serendipity. Serendipity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, maybe she used to work at the Kearns plant.
Like she works days as a waitress, taking ice cream scoops in her apron from.
At night, she cleans hydraulic presses.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's probably why she dresses up in those horrible party clothes, because she doesn't care if she gets oil on them.
Yes, that's why.
Yep.
You're terminated, fucker.
It's a good. All of this stuff, man. Dry grease off, and then we get this nice little coda.
The epilogue.
Yeah.
And the
My
kid.
question is that the same Walkman that her roommate had when she died?
Oh, I hope so.
And there's the picture.
He takes the picture, and it all comes full circle. And then, to my understanding, then the future is written. It is fixed, right? I mean, he had the picture in the future. It's in Terminator. I don't think you could change the future in Terminator 1.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
This was before, I think, James Cameron got addicted to sequels. So I think with Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 7 coming out, I just think that it's not good, because Aliens was great, right? And then he was like, oh, maybe I should just do more sequels, right?
I think that his deal was that he just kept getting more money and making more money. If you keep making more money and bigger, you start thinking that way. That's a good movie, guys. Thank you,
That's
Nate.
A great movie.
That was a fun one. Who's next?
Chris's turn.
I think it's mine. So I was trying to figure out if I was going to finally pick 2010, but which I love. I just love this movie so much, but I'm going to hold off. I'm actually going to go for another movie set in the future in a benighted hell warscape with Peter Weller. Based on a book by Philip K. Dick. Right?
Oh, you're hitting all the buttons.
I'm hitting all the buttons. Screenplay by Dan O'Bannon.
He's written so many Star Treks.
He's written so many Star Treks, so much good stuff. It's the movie 1995's Screamers.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all have ever seen it.
It's been a long time.
I have seen Screamers. There's one of my favorite lines in the movie ever is in this movie.
I look forward to hearing about it next week.
All right, gentlemen. Then I'm making a note of it. It shall be so. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for enjoying the Terminator with us.
Sure.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Chris DeBona.
Bye.
Nate Ostendorp.
See you next week.
I'm still Rob Commander Taco Malda. This has been Geeks in Space, and we'll see you for some news on Friday if you want.